MyMac Podcast 804, GooMopoly.
Hi everyone and welcome to MyMac Podcast 804. Yes, another week. Mostly stuck at home apparently. And like all good vampires, we're becoming allergic to sunlight, mirrors and garlic. Well, maybe not garlic.
I like garlic. What could vampires possibly like season their food with? I guess if all you do is drink blood, it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Rosemary, tarragon.
Time.
Yeah, it's all sorts.
Because, being immortal, they have lots of time.
Time, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a vampire joke. It's not a great vampire joke.
But it's a joke.
But it's a joke nonetheless.
So how are you, Guy?
I have got something very, very odd going on in my life. Something that I haven't done, since before I got married. Which, of course, opens up so many possibilities.
I don't want to know.
No, I bought I saw this guy on Facebook, and he's selling real, real cheap these old Windows business PCs. Mm-hmm. And it's from 2013, but it was only like $100. So I was like, you know what? I'll take a chance. So I went ahead and I got one, and I paid a little bit extra. He put in a 2 gigabyte video card, and it's a Dell. So, the build quality is pretty good. But trying to play 10-year-old plus games on a 7-plus-year-old computer, joy. The specs, it's got a quad core 3.27 gigahertz i5, and of course the 2 gigabyte graphics card and 8 gigs of RAM. So it's not a powerhouse.
No.
But I always kind of felt that it shouldn't be this slow. So what I did, I spent, of course, because spending $100 on a 78-year-old PC just isn't enough. So I also spent $50.
It sounded like you said spending $100 on a 78-year-old PC.
Oh, 728-year-old PC.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
728. So I spent another $50 and I got an SSD. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out how to clone.
How much was the SSD?
It's like $50 for half a terabyte.
Half the price of the
half the price of the PC itself. Yeah. But the weird thing is I've never had to clone a hard drive on a Windows PC before. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. And the other thing I have to figure out how to do, because this is do you know what I mean when I say small form factor PC?
Yes.
It's got a single drive bay in it.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And of course that's filled up by this 3.5 inch hard drive.
Yep.
So in order to clone it to, clone the spindle drive to the SSD, I needed to connect it up via USB.
Yep.
And I started looking around the house, and it was like, I cannot find, with all the ones that I've bought over the years, I cannot find a small form factor external drive. So what do? This is the process, Gaz. You go onto Amazon, you order the enclosure from Amazon. 20 minutes after that, you find the one that you thought you didn't have in the first place.
You go onto Amazon.
And then you go back onto Amazon and you cancel it.
Cancel the order.
Now, this is the tricky part.
Okay.
Later on, I'm going to put
the wrong size.
No, it's the right size, but I'm going to take this SSD and I'm going to put it into the enclosure.
Right.
And it's not going to work. And that's when I will remember that's why I wasn't using it in the first place, because it wasn't working. At that point, you go back onto Amazon
and buy a toaster, not a
or a coffee maker.
If you buy a toaster, one of these toaster racks, which you can put any size of disk in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like actual.
No. I think they call them toasters, don't they?
Yeah.
Where you can actually put different size drives in.
Yeah.
Different types of drives. So, because that's what I've got, and I find that really useful.
Does it work with a Windows PC? Well, it's just USB, I guess.
It's just USB.
Yeah, so it should work.
Yeah.
Okay, what have you got going on?
Cool. That sounds. It sounds very daring. What can I ask?
Sure.
What operating system it's got on there?
It's Windows 10.
10.
Yeah.
And is it going okay? I suppose you have hinted that it's a bit slow. So.
Yeah, it is a little because I was trying to play. Of course, first thing I did was put Steam on it. I tried to play Left 4 Dead 2, and it stuttered on that. And then I tried. The weird thing was it didn't stutter on was it Call of Duty or Medal of Honor? It was one of the World War II. Modern Warfare. Which one is that? Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think. One of those.
I don't know. I don't really play those games.
Okay. Well, it didn't stutter on that, which is a much newer game, but it did stutter on Left 4 Dead, which it's like, okay. So I'll see if putting an SSD in it, it's like the same size. It's a 500 gig spindle drive, and I'm putting in a 500 gig SSD. So there's not going to be this, you've run out of room. So I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So I've just been pinged to somebody wants to come into the room and get a screwdriver, but that's fine.
Oh, I won't be able to see them because you're in hyperspace.
Correct. That's why I've just told them yes, you see.
So what do you got going on?
Yeah, so basically I've got really quite a long splinter in my middle finger. So I can't indicate to you as I normally do. And everybody
what would you have to indicate with your middle finger to me, Gaz?
Well, I've got a point that it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or for point to you to go skywards.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps telling me I've got to get it out, and the thing is I can't get it out, guy, because it's below the line of the cuticle. It's not the cuticle because that's at the bottom, but the white part of your fingernail where it's been clipped. So it's in the pink part, and I can't get at it, and it does
vice grips.
It does spike a bit. No, it's no point because I can't get at it. I can't even get at it. So I think
Black & Decker drill.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go to some sort of medical centre to get that out. But it's making typing quite difficult, I can assure you. And an app that I used to use to clip sounds and adjust sounds and fade them in and fade them out basically won't work anymore. I thought it was working on Catalina, but it's not. And it's either Wiretap Studio or Wiretap Pro. I can't remember which one it was.
Oh, yeah. None of them got updated to 64-bit. Definitely.
Yeah, but
that's from Ambrosia's software.
Yeah, I thought I'd done one, but perhaps I hadn't. Anyway, so I've been looking around for an app that I could replace it, and I found one. Paid a bit more than I wanted to pay.
Sure.
But it does the job, and it's from a good app developer.
Shh.
Guy knows why I'm coughing. What is it? Well, you have to wait for my app pick because I have used it on a few things, and it is good. It's not quite as good actually as the others because the others could do some slightly different things. But
you remember we had this conversation last week with Soundboard.
Did we? Well, yes. Yeah. Well, I've got Soundboard.
Does it still work?
Yeah. Sorry, not Soundboard.
Farrago.
No, I'm thinking of something else. Farrago.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Soundboard cracking out just needed updating, and they didn't. So, anyway, so you'll find out in a little bit what the pick is. Is there any reviews on the website, Guy?
My goodness, yes, there is. There is
a
review.
I think you're making it up.
That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, Gaz.
You're making it up.
Nope, it's there. If you go to mymac.com, you'll find it right there.
Well, you make up whatever the review is then.
Okay. Let's see. It's blah 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 blah
blah blah.
No, it is not. It's I've never heard of this program. Dorico Pro 3.5, and this is a review. Stretch it out.
Oh, yeah, because there's only the one.
I know.
I haven't got many snippets.
By Sark Mealy.
This is Sark Mealy. I don't want any mealy snark from you, G-men.
When was the last time that we had an audio snippet from a writer to play on the MyMac podcast? It's been a while.
I don't know. I forget.
That's how long it's been.
I forget.
Why, you stuck-up,
Hey,
half-witted,
wait a minute.
scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Yeah, Mark.
Who's scruffy looking?
Exactly. Steinberg's Dorico is remarkably sophisticated and intuitive software for musicians. Composers, arrangers, and performers worldwide use Dorico to notate, playback, and publish musical scores to the highest professional standards. MyMac has had nothing but good things to say about versions 1, 2, and 3. Refer to those reviews for the story so far of how the dedicated, gifted, and energetic team at Steinberg designed and developed this outstanding product from scratch, but built on the best computer-based notational practice. The Dorico phenomenon now means that this platform has deservedly become the market leader in the field. And let's all do a little dance. Yay!
Yeah.
Hooray,
You know
Steinberg.
what I'm dancing to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
I do. So go on over to mymac.com and read the review by Mark Seeley.
Excellent. Love it. Okay, so you know what comes next, don't you?
I do.
Gazzy snippets. God, that's so quick. Are they a bit quiet?
It was a little quiet.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to play it again a bit louder.
There we go.
Better. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready, folks? Sit back, get your coffee, and enjoy. Now patched. Sign in with Apple, a bug. Left users open to attack. But it's patched, folks. You're going to be okay. Don't worry about it now. It's all
Don't
sorted.
panic.
Apple Watch Series 6 will not use the micro LED display, according to analysts.
That's fine. That means I'm not going to get one. Of course, I wasn't going to get one anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Tim Cook addresses George Floyd's death and ensuing protests and riots as Apple temporarily closes some US stores. Real shame going on there.
Yep.
So 75 million smartphone sales up. 75 million smartphone sales up in smoke in Q1. Well, we could drill in and have a look at which brands took the most pain, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. This is all we have to say about that.
These are snippets, so you can go and find out for yourself. But I think Apple might be in there. Report on Apple investing $330 million in a Taiwanese factory where micro LED display development will be top priority. Now, let me revert back to a previous story. Apple Watch Series 6 will not use micro LED display, according to analysts. A report from analysts, Apple are investing $330 million in a Taiwanese factory where micro LED display development will be top priority. Just go and make your own decisions, folks. Just go and make your own decisions.
Because they have no clue.
6.1-inch iPhone 12 production to begin in July ahead of other 2020 models.
That they have no clue about either.
Apple Card deferred payment program is extended through June. That's good. Apple has confirmed that iOS 13.5.1 security update patches the vulnerability breaking the Uncover jailbreak. So I don't know if you know about this guy, but actually there was a jailbreak out for the most recent phones, which was,
for iOS 13,
which hasn't been for some time. Well, bye jailbreak. Apple stores smashed and looted amid the George Floyd protests. More
what?
Sadness.
Yeah, and there's I don't know if you've got anything else in here. They're tracking all of those devices.
Stop.
Okay.
I'll come back to that.
All right.
Hong Kong's Octopus Card now supports Apple Pay. Italy and Latvia launch apps that use Apple's exposure notification API. Apple doubles the memory upgrade cost for entry-level 13-inch MacBook Pro. Well, not quite true. Okay. If you bought a entry, if you bought an entry-level, my dear Watson, if you bought an entry-level 13-inch MacBook Pro and you added some RAM onto it and you thought, well, that seems a bit cheap, that RAM, then you have got a bit of a bargain because that RAM price was incorrect at the output of the price for those original MacBook Pros. And Apple have now leveled up the price to their exorbitant RAM prices, because we know that Apple do overcharge just a tad on their RAM. And they're still doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. So if anybody thought that the price of the RAM could be a foretell for price of RAM on other machines,
now,
iOS 14.
But before you go on, I had heard the first part of that story where Apple doubled the RAM prices.
Yep.
Up until the time that you just said that, never heard the follow-up where it was a mistake on Apple's part for the original price to begin with.
Yep, and they're honoring that original price, apparently.
Okay, well, they'd have to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big company. People make mistakes.
Sure.
I just want, I'd just like to, I'd love to know, what I'd love to know is where that price came from. You know, did someone go, all right, yes, usually we make X% margin, so I will put this margin on the RAM price and then feed it through, not knowing that actually on RAM, they make a little bit more of a margin. I'd love to know how that price came about. Anyway, iOS 14 again said to be compatible with all iPhones able to run iOS 13. That's good news.
That is. So every single phone that runs 13 will run 14.
Yep, there's been a Mac OS Catalina 10.15.5 supplemental update released. So yes, I've had
It's
a
easy
couple
for
of
you
updates.
to say.
Well, I wish it had been. Gartner have said that iPhone shipments, not Wedbush, but Gartner, said iPhone shipments fell 8.2% in Q1 amid industry slowdown caused by COVID-19.
Not a huge
really
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple retailers cut iPhone prices in China for the 6/18 shopping festival. So obviously on the 18th of June, there will be, because I always have to swap that round, because you put your days in the middle of the format for some unbeknown reason. But they're dropping the prices in China for this particular shopping festival.
That's odd.
Go to China.
I don't know what it's
go
all
to China.
about.
If you can't, well, there's some sort of China festival, and they're just it's not like Apple to do a promotion. Unless they really are struggling, Guy. Rubs chin in thoughtful contemplation. Analysts predict how Apple will hit a $2 trillion market cap within 4 years. I wonder if they're trying to feed their own
bullshit
bed.
Sorry,
yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, you shouldn't. You naughty boy. That's going to come out. That's going to come out as.
Unless
Apple
I forget
Music,
about it.
Apple Music joins a wider music industry Blackout Tuesday awareness campaign with an app takeover. There's lots of stuff been going on around the world on that. Apple Maps transit directions now live for Hong Kong residents. Apple TV gains the Peloton workout app following the Fire TV and Chromecast support. Following Fire TV and Chromecast
but
support.
That's not a huge surprise, because Peloton makes all their money selling bicycles. They don't really.
Yeah, but that Apple, TV had to really. I mean, it's a bit late in the day, so excuse me. Apple updates the research app with the COVID-19 survey and a hearing study noise test.
What?
Pardon?
That was inevitable.
Apple
I
News
knew
Plus.
that was coming.
Well, you weren't surprised, were you?
What?
Apple News Plus will feature audio. Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Apple News Plus will feature audio versions of stories in an iOS update. Precursor. Interesting. Safari in iOS and iPad OS 14 might include built-in translator and full Apple Pencil support. Why say that? Just why?
Because they didn't have anything else to talk about that day.
This is the anti-analyst piece, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apple warns looters with stolen phones. You are being tracked.
And the cameras are also on.
So yes, you were going to say a little bit earlier. So tell me more if you've got more.
Yeah. So the people that broke into the Apple stores, if you want to get anything for those phones, don't turn them on. Just break them down for their base components, because as soon as you turn them on, they're going to get tracked and the cameras will be on. So if you have your mask off and you go, oh, I wonder if the phone is working. Well, they got your picture. Congratulations. Okay. You're an idiot.
So can I say, if any of those looters are listening to this program, don't believe Guy. It's all false.
Yeah.
You carry on. You carry on.
Yeah, they'll work just fine.
They're fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Use those phones.
Australian hacker avoids jail after posting confidential Apple employee details on Twitter. Don't know how he avoided it, but he did.
Well, good for him.
And apparently, don't buy a looted phone because it'll never work. So not only, you see. So my point before, just you carry on, folks.
No. It'll be fine.
Fine.
Go ahead. Use the phone. Call all your friends.
Apparently, the full rollout of Apple Pay on New York Metro system has been delayed by coronavirus. I didn't know apps could catch this particular virus, so that's not really.
Apparently, it's a thing.
It's a thing, yeah. There's a judge that said Apple must face the US shareholder lawsuit over CEO Cook's iPhone and China comments. Now, I haven't dug into this. I don't know if you know any of it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. Basically, after the iPhone 11 was released, within a couple of weeks, Cook was saying something. Well, it's the fastest sale of a new phone ever, and then like 2 to 3 weeks later, they contacted their suppliers to cut production, and it's like, well, one of these things don't match the other. So, yeah, there's a problem there.
Okay. I've lost my place. Here we go. Code in iOS 13.5.5 suggests that Apple is working on a services bundle. Now, I've seen a few reports of this guy, and the button. Do you know what the bundle I'm referring to is? It's a bundle of like Arcade, Apple TV, News Plus, and possibly TV.
How could that ever work?
Now, but there's all sorts of bundles that they could do, like iCloud and music and TV, or iCloud.
I would rather see music, TV, and iCloud bundled together than throwing in news or arcade. I honestly do not care about Apple News. I've gone to it, I think, 3 times.
But what about those people that do? The point I'm going to make is, maybe they should think about mix and match.
Maybe, and just have different tiers depending on how many services you want.
Well, yeah, as long as you can get the services that you want.
It's just like that. It's just like that very successful plan that Adobe has.
Seems to be
everybody loves that. Oh, I didn't say it wasn't successful. The sarcastic part was that everybody loves it. That was the sarcastic part.
Oh, I got that. Yeah.
Okay.
Apple hires Amazon video executive James De Lorenzo. I should have reread that. I got
of course, he's leading the sports division.
He's leading the sports division on Apple TV. Yeah.
Of course, because somebody with the last name of De Lorenzo has got, and he's probably like a big fan of F1. That's what I'm thinking. Hello. Yeah. I'm De Lorenzo. Sports, F1, it's all mixed in together. Okay, I'll shut up.
I'm going to leave it there. Apple CEO Tim Cook speaks out on George Floyd's senseless killing in an open letter on racism and equality. Kind of thought he might do that, and good on him.
Yeah.
Apple suppliers reportedly developing OLED displays with low-power LTPO tech for 2021 iPhones.
Cool. Yeah, good old LTPO. Everybody knows what that is.
It's something. Former Apple engineers have a startup that might help current Apple engineers. I spotted that and I thought, great, yeah, good bit of news there.
And what the does that even mean?
Yeah. Well, I started reading it and they didn't say any more. So I thought, hang on a minute. It's just great. Anyway, a former Apple engineer might have a startup that might help current Apple engineers. Yeah, it's good. I love it. All this new. Apple attempts to automate product assembly have met with limited success, and apparently how Apple learned that automation can't match human skill.
It works really, really good when you're melding two large pieces of metal together. Maybe not so much with a little tiny phone. Maybe hard to say.
There are some things which
but the weird thing, they can come up with a machine that can tear one of these apart for its base metals, but apparently they can't make one that's like, okay, now take the base metals and make a phone. And the machine just goes, no, I don't do. No, senor, that is not my job. Okay. There's a Family Guy reference.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite.
It's just like Windex. No.
Apple launches open source project to let password management apps create strong passwords. What? Because it wouldn't let them create strong passwords? It would say
what
no.
does that say about the password management system that's built into Apple right now? That they're just going, you know what? We should probably make an API that makes strong passwords because, when we just put out password 1234 on all these sites, it gets hacked.
It's crazy. That's crazy stuff. Crazy. I saw a joke about password actually the other day. Not the dad jokes that I've been sending you and Carl, but another one. And it says, I think, oh yeah, my password is incorrect because every time whenever it comes up and it says your password is incorrect, then I type incorrect in and I got the right password.
And it didn't work.
Apple hits all-time record high stock closing at a price of $331.50 this week. What? So you watch when they don't hit the expectations, it dropped back down in a few months' time. Apple Watch ECG feature is likely coming soon to Japan and Brazil. Yeah. This isn't Apple's fault, folks, because obviously I got my iPhone 4 and the ECG wasn't on it because it wasn't allowed in this country. Sorry, on the watch. Did I say phone?
You said phone. It was like, you had an iPhone 4 and it didn't have it. Huh.
Yeah, it's wrapped around my wrist. Yeah. And although it was on there, obviously I couldn't use it because of local legislation. So this isn't Apple's fault, but it's good that they're allowing it in soon, hopefully.
Yep.
Apple users complain about the display of iPhone 11 having an odd green tint. Now, this was quite a last thing that I saw, so I don't know how up to date this is and whether it's accurate or not. So if you start seeing news about an odd green tint on iPhone 11, you heard it here first. Not that that's going to help you.
No, but you can just take comfort. Take comfort in that.
Take comfort that we knew about it. Apple Watch fall detection praised for calling 911 and providing location info after a man fainted. I mean that I did have another piece which told you where and who, but I kind of like that. It's kind of, this is so vague. Just a man fainted.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was no place that used 911 for emergency services.
Yeah.
So basically, somebody in New Jersey is like, I have no idea where this guy is.
Yeah. Now, here's a bit of a fun bit that I put in.
Okay.
So I'm occasionally going to do this. The headline, I just put this in for the headline because it's brilliant, right? It says, "You're 3 billion years too late to see Mars' impressive ring system. The next one will be along in 40 million years or so." What about that story makes you think, I'm going to read that?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to bother to read it, but I will set my Apple Watch to it.
Yeah. I wonder if I can actually.
Set a timer for 40 million years.
Okay, right.
Well, no, that would Siri. Be hold on, before you do this, what year would that be?
I don't know.
The year 40 million in 2020.
Yeah, that's not, God blimey. Yeah, something like that. Hey, Siri, can you set an alarm? Yeah, can you set an alarm for 40 million years or so? What? Yes, a reminder will do. Yes. Hey Siri, can I have a reminder for 40 million years? It's struggling. It's struggling.
Yeah, no surprise.
It can't set. It couldn't set a reminder. It can't set an alarm. Anyway.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Go on.
In 40 million years, the watch will be dust. The servers that hold the information will be dust. And chances are the entire human race will be dust.
You underestimate just how many times I pass these devices down the line, guys.
That's true. Your great
Keep going.
grandson will be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's going to go off in like 10 seconds.
It's your... Yeah, we're looking at the watch.
Wow, look at those rings around Mars.
There you go.
Where did those come from?
There you go. That's what, and that's, my folks, the end of Gaz's snippets.
So everybody set an alarm or a reminder for 40 million years in the future so that you too can check out the rings around Mars.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Should I get us out of here?
I like checking out my rings.
I'm not even going to go there.
You best get us out.
Yeah, everyone, please stand by, and we'll be right back.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to point 2 of this week's Mighty MyMac podcast. Point 2.
Can't do that can't do that using the other fingers.
No,
you have to
I
go
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go. Can't do that. Don't do that.
You can't raise your middle finger first and then your index finger is what you're saying.
Yeah, because that's just rude.
Right. Point 2 of this week's Mighty MyMac podcast, everyone. Yes, we are back. Looking at you, kid. Guy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Breaking up the tech giants?
Yeah.
What are you this is madness that you're talking.
Of course it's madness. It's all madness. There was a story on Mac Daily News talking about, is it time to break up the tech giants? And some U.S. states, are leaning toward asking for a breakup of Google's ad tech business, calling it a monopoly. And it's gotten the attention of the U.S. Department of Justice as well, saying that Google's ad business is such that it's almost impossible for smaller competitors to compete with. One big sticking point is that Google also has a large stake in the auction exchange where ads are bought and sold. Now, last year, the EU came down on Apple and fined them like 1.5 billion euros is for essentially blocking, in the EU's opinion, other companies from joining in online advertising. And, and this isn't like the first time I think that we've heard rumblings along this road, Gaz.
Nope.
And what it kind of reminds me of, and Google should probably really pay attention to it, is what happened with Microsoft in the late 90s when they purchased, they came out with Internet Explorer, and basically by bundling it in with the operating system, took over almost the entire browser market. And the other companies that had browsers, Netscape Navigator, I guess, was the best known of all of them.
Yeah, that died because of it, didn't it?
Yeah, we're pretty much screwed because they couldn't, who was going to buy a browser that A, was going to cost them money, and B, because of Microsoft's share in the computer market.
Yeah, dominance.
Most people were coding their websites toward using Internet Explorer instead of more open standards that Netscape Navigator and other smaller browsers could take advantage of.
What do you want me to say? I
don't
totally
know.
agree with you. Personally, I thought this for a long time, that actually in the ways of Amazon, not Amazon, but Google.
Amazon too.
Amazon too, but we're talking about Google here in particular and the advertising piece. I thought that for a long time. They've got such a dominance on it that it's just monopolistic. Nobody can get in, and now they can pretty much do what they want, how they want, if they want. And certainly with YouTube as well. If this had happened in other industries, I do think that it would have been looked at a lot sooner. But because it's kind of tech and it's new, and we're still feeling our way in this area, I think they've kind of got away with it a little bit. Now,
do you know what I think the turning point has been?
Good kudos to them for doing it and being able to do it, but I do wonder whether it does give them a little bit too much power. I'm not sure. Not sure. I'm not. That I'm not a big Google fan, and I think people's privacy is something which is high on my agenda, and I don't think people quite realise just how much they're knowing about them. And some people say, "So what? I don't care if they give me what I want." But I think actually what it does is it restricts your choice in the future. I think what there's a lot of people actually like a wider choice. They don't just else you're just blinkered. Then you're always seeing the same thing all the time. You've got to widen your experiences. I'm finding that in YouTube now. It keeps giving me all the same stuff. So I have to go searching for other stuff. Yeah. No, not the ads. I'm not talking about the ads. The ads I can live with because I'm watching it for free. So I'll live with that. That's not a problem. But what they're doing is they are trending the videos to what they think I want. No, you don't know what I want. What I want is an expansive view. I sometimes click on stuff which I would never click on if it was put in front of me, because it's there, because I can see it just by scrolling through. It's the same on the web. Whereas now with Google, I don't use Google anymore because it's just too blinkered. And they've got into their own little world because they've got so much power and they think they're doing the right thing. And I don't know. It's difficult.
Well, I know that with YouTube, one of the complaints from a lot of content creators has been that YouTube, which used to be kind of the leveling point between big media and small content creators. It was like, okay, well, we can't get on, the BBC, and we can't get on CBS, and we can't get on, all these other huge networks, but we can create this content, put it on YouTube, and have millions of people's eyeballs looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, once Google and YouTube at the time wasn't making very much money because, it was more or less a free service. And when you're talking about a service that's going to require, my God, I don't even want to think about the kind of storage space that YouTube must need to maintain all of these videos that have been uploaded since the early 2000s, whenever YouTube came around. But now the Google's bought them. It's like, okay, well, we kind of expect to make a profit. So instead of having these cheap ads that we can put on small content creators, we're going to start to push big content creators, the big networks.
Yep.
And because they have the kinds of budgets to pay for the ads that they're expecting to get this kind of return on. And
now what that does do is it then allows other startups to go through the same process. But it
doesn't.
It does. It does.
Okay.
It's just whether they can actually make a go of it or not, and whether people can find them. That's the problem, because now what will then happen is they'll want to get into a business sense, and it's nothing is ever free. I get that. I get nothing is ever free. Everything's got to be paid for in one way or another. We all get that. But I think there is a level to which you can do stuff so that you make enough money. Whereas for me, when you hear some of the amounts of money that these big companies are making, including Apple.
Yeah.
But Apple's not a monopoly, remember, folks. Got to be a bit careful here, because Apple is not a monopoly. Although some companies
we'll go into that. We'll go into that in a minute. Go ahead and finish
Okay.
your thought.
Yeah, go. I don't know whether you've got. I'm not looking at the notes at the moment. I don't know whether you've got Tile in there because Carl had a bit of a chat about Tile, so we'll come back onto that on the Monopoly bit. But actually, they make so much money that that's all it becomes. It's
about
just money,
making
money.
Right.
Rather than, I think we've realised over the past 3 months, it's not all about making money. It's about living with other people. It's about enjoying other people's health and wealth and when I say wealth, I don't just mean monetary wealth. And it's we're social beings. Let's live with other people.
Except for Twitter.
Yeah, but I think people have realised that it's not all about money recently, and I've got a feeling that won't last though, Guy. Unfortunately, I think that will soon disappear.
Right. Now,
because we've got a very short memory. But big companies like this, I think they've just got too much power.
Now there are other video platforms. There's Mevio, Vimeo, Twitch, even the likes of Facebook. Though it's kind of hard to include them, considering that the sheer or mere, what's the word I'm looking for? The almost monopoly that they have on their kind of social media. So it's kind of like, where is the next generation of companies going to come from if there's no room at the table for them?
Well, yeah. However, let's be a bit careful here because YouTube came around, was completely new.
Right. Well, it was a whole different kind of service.
Absolutely. So that's what will happen. It'll be a completely new service. That's where it's going to come from.
Maybe because you look at.
Well, it will do.
Since Facebook got really big, the things that came before it have pretty much died, and the next generation of social media sites have.
Yeah, but Guy, is they died though because they were no good? People didn't use them.
No, they died because they couldn't innovate or they didn't provide the kind of services that people were looking for as compared to Facebook.
No, don't say as compared to Facebook. They died off because they weren't doing the right thing.
It's sometimes it's not about whether or not they're doing the right thing. It's a question of momentum. So you have look at the just sheer number of attempts that Apple has tried to get into the social media space, and some of them have been quite innovative. The problem is you couldn't get enough people to keep it sustainable. And when you're talking about a platform like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and so many of these other ones that just literally have billions of people that use them. And that's where all of your friends are. And that's where all of your family members are. Well, then somebody else comes along and goes, well, we've got this other service and it does some of that stuff, but then it does this other stuff that's really, really cool. And even the high up tech muckamucks that will look at it and go, yeah, wow, it's amazing what that does. But then the general hoi polloi will look at it and say, well, are my friends from school on there? No, they're not on there. What about the celebrities that I like? Or what about the musicians that I like or whoever? Oh, they're not on there? Well, then why am I going to bother? And if you can't get momentum, especially in the social media space, you're dead in the water.
Momentum for what?
Momentum to keep increasing the number of people that are using your service.
To do what?
To do whatever it is the service is intended to do. You had Apple's various music services.
To do what? It's about for those companies about making money. Apple had all of the right people. And
Apple had all the money and still couldn't make a go of it.
Correct, because obviously it wasn't working right. It wasn't just that they didn't have the right processes, Guy, as well. A lot of people complain about the interaction they were doing, so they weren't doing it right. You got to do it right as well. People won't use it if it's not being done right. Twitter, when it first came out, took a long time to get some real momentum because they weren't doing it right.
Well,
and they had a lot of people in there.
They had, to me, it still comes down to momentum. You have to keep
You do have to
growing the number of followers you have, or people get bored with whatever echo chamber they're in because there's no new people coming in or out. Which is, echo chambers are the biggest problem with social media now anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, this echo chambers, I'm thinking I've got to get out. There's no new people coming to talk to me on here. It's always you every week.
Yeah, see, that's just two people. But I act like different people every week.
you do. That's true.
Split personalities, schizophrenia.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on from there. Go on. Carry on.
Okay. So, let's, and we talked about Microsoft and the problems that they had. You don't really hear much about them as far as being a monopoly anymore, because after they kind of got spanked in the late 90s, they've been very, very careful to not, and I will give Microsoft credit where credit is due. For the most part, they've been very, very careful in not repeating the mistakes that they made back then. Adobe, which kind of has a monopoly on the types of programs that you can get from them. And, we talked about this the other week. There's a reason why some of the programs that they have become almost synonymous in our language, where people say, well, I don't like that picture because it's been photoshopped, or I don't like this because it's been, whatever the other processes are that involve Adobe software. Adobe software has become the industry standards in nearly every single type of software that they put out there. So now the thing that keeps them, I think, from getting into trouble is you've got other programs like Pixelmator and Acorn, and there's so many other. I mean, heck, even what's the open source one? GIMP. Yeah. Where you do have, if you're just an individual and you want to manipulate, photographs or whatever, you have lots of choices out there. So that's kind of what keeps Adobe out of trouble. But if you're a professional, you don't really have that much of a choice in what it is you're going to use. Now, getting to Apple, people talked a lot about Apple being a monopoly, and I don't think they really thought that through.
No. Because
there's no industry that Apple competes in where they have except for iPads, except for tablets, I think. But pretty much every single genre that Apple has products in, they are not the dominant performer in that market. They're not the dominant performer in smartphones or in computers or in operating systems or in pretty much anything. And I'm sure you remember, excuse me, a couple years ago, Apple got sued by the Department of Justice over books.
Yep.
And it made no sense to me at the time because they had like less than a 10% share in selling online books and selling digital books, with Amazon having the lion's share of it. And the only reason why they got hit was because publishers wanted to go with Apple because it was going to force prices to increase so that they would make some more money. And Apple would be able to get a foothold into it, because the problem has been Amazon has used in the past, they have used their dominant position as an online sales force to dictate prices to other industries that provide them with goods. And eventually this is a house of cards that I think is also going to fall. And why it hasn't happened already, I have no idea. Wow, that almost made sense.
Yeah, Tweety Pie.
Yeah. What do you think?
What do you want me to comment on? The Amazon bit or
Any
the Apple bit? Okay, well, agree with you on the Apple bit that they don't have any dominance anywhere. Even in iPads, they might have a monopoly on the sales, but they don't have a monopoly on the products which are available.
Well, they don't have a monopoly in tablets. They don't have a monopoly in phones. You could, and people keep talking about, well, you can't buy an iPhone.
I thought you wanted me to comment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you should be. Guy asks me to comment and then interrupts me just as I'm getting into my flow. I mean, people, this is what I have to put up with all the
every
time.
Every week.
Yeah. Anyway, I've lost my flow now. You carry on.
Well,
yeah, so in tablets they have a monopoly on sales, but they don't have a monopoly on the products which are available, or even in prices. So you only have a monopoly when you completely when you control a lot more. And I think the definition of monopoly is slightly different in various areas of the world as well. The Amazon bit is really interesting because I agree with you. I don't know why the House of Cards hasn't fallen over yet. But the thing is with Amazon is they've got a lot of money which is being made not in the retail sector. A lot of Amazon's money is actually being made on the server side, folks.
Yep.
So they can do an awful lot of subsidizing different areas of the business with that money. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But Amazon's money is made in the server side. I don't think people realize that. How can they make money, et cetera, et cetera? Well, in a lot of cases, they're not. They're doing exactly what you've said, is they're gaining market share and foothold. But actually, longer term, I don't know about you, Guy, but now I buy less and less from Amazon, although having said that, 2 products came in from Amazon today.
Just today.
But that is actually quite rare for me because normally I'll perhaps use Amazon to get a range of the products which are available, and you can very often find them at the same price, if not lower, and with an equivalent delivery option elsewhere.
Yeah, or right directly from the manufacturer.
Yeah, and actually I prefer to buy more locally as well. So, and things like that will start to happen. They won't get a complete foothold. So, but it works. It works for them. So Jeff Bezos has done a good job. So who am I?
Yeah, he's with SpaceX. Oh wait, no, that was Elon.
No, he's
Musk.
not.
Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see him cheering and being quite happy when it went? Oh, there's another story. Anyway,
what people didn't see was him in the back room. Before the ship went up. Then he was really happy, super happy.
Anyway, let's move off.
Okay. See, I can't show that bit that I just did. I'll have to focus on you.
You're gonna blank yourself out.
Well, get us out of here, Gaz.
Everybody stand by, and SpaceX will take off, and we'll be right back.
And welcome to the third section of the MyMac.com podcast. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Would you agree with that, Gaz?
Nodding my head.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
Right. If you're an Apple Music user, before you begin adding friends to Apple Music, you'll need to create an Apple Music profile. It only takes a few minutes, and you can do it from either your Mac or from a device like an iPhone, an iPad, or even an iPod Touch. They still sell them, folks. Yes, they do. So how to set up a music profile on your Mac? Open the Music app, click For You in the upper right-hand corner of the app, and click on your photo. Click Get Started, create a username, click Done. Hey, voila.
Is that it?
Okay. How to set, not quite.
Oh, okay.
How to set up a music profile on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch. Open the Music app, tap For You in the upper right corner of the app. Tap your photo. Tap See What Friends Are Listening To. Create a username. Tap Done.
Oh, so now you're done.
No.
No. Okay.
No. No. Once you set up your profile, you can start adding friends and sharing playlists with them. You can do this on your Mac or your iPhone or your iPad or your iPod Touch. How to follow people on the Apple Music on your Mac? Open the Music app. Click For You in the upper right corner of the app. Click on your photo. Click Find More Friends.
Ah, so that's it then.
All right. Not quite.
No.
How to follow? No, because you might want to do it on your iPhone or your iPad or your iPod Touch. Open the Music app, tap For You in the upper right corner of the app, click your photo, click Follow Friends. Once you're in the Follow Friends or Find More Friends, you can search for contacts by Apple ID or username, as well as link to your Facebook account if you have one. Now I'm done, Guy.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
I
Had to throw it in.
hope so. I hope so. You betcha.
Okay. Well, this is the kind of week that's going to make Paul Kafarsis very, very happy, Gaz.
Oh my word! Yes, it is.
Because my pick
My favorite person in the world.
is going to be Rogue Amoeba's Audio Hijack. Now, if you don't know what Audio Hijack is, it pretty much does what the
it
name
says
suggests.
On the bottle.
Yes, it will take audio from nearly any source, external or internal, as long as it's connected to your computer, and allow you to do things with them. You can do stuff, all kinds of stuff. There's filters. You can make yourself sound like an alien if that's something that you want to do. You know, I have spent so much time and effort over the years of adjusting my audio, mostly through this application. So it's not Paul's fault, but he was the instigator.
Yeah.
It's actually, and all kidding aside, it is fantastic software. So what's your pick, Gaz?
Well, would you like to tell anybody whether it costs money or not?
It does. I just don't know how much off the top of my head.
$71.
Okay.
All right, $71. Now, this actually is quite good because I didn't know that you were going to pick a Rogue Amoeba application because I put mine in sometime, well, yesterday, sometime. I'm lying. But I didn't know when I popped it in. I don't think your pick was in there.
No,
anyway,
it wasn't.
I mentioned earlier about finding an application which allows you to create snippets, join things together, cut pieces out the middle, then join the two pieces of music together, take out silence, add silence, fade in, fade out, but do it quickly and easily, and then export. You can also export iPhone ringtones as well with this particular application. It's really good, and again, it comes from Rogue Amoeba, and it's called Fission. Now, I've actually looked at Fission a few times in the past, but I'd got the other apps which did very similar jobs, so I didn't bother. But now Catalina's come along and those other apps do not work. Fission was my option of choice. The problem is I wish I'd bought Fission when I also bought Audio Hijack some time ago.
Get it in a bundle.
Because you can't choose your bundle, which I would have liked to have done. Because I might have added Loopback with it and bought Loopback and Fission, but I can't do that. Rogue, Paul, come on, pull your finger out. And it costs $27.99, and I think it's actually well worth it. It is a really good app, and it'll be updated. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, you know what else it can do? It can do tags for like podcasts.
Yes. So you can do you can do chapters on it. There's all sorts of stuff within Fission that you can do. You can add
Amazing
the metadata.
software.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. It's a really good piece of software. You can buy it in a bundle. We just mentioned that Audio Hijack is $71. You can buy it with Audio Hijack for $84. So that saves you about $20 and probably roughly the equivalent price over here. So if you want to buy both of our picks this week, $84. However, I've actually bought Fission through the Mac App Store because it's in the Mac App Store. I'm not sure what the Audio Hijack is. Guy, I'll let you have a quick search and do that. But if you buy it in the Mac App Store, you may not be able to buy it as a bundle. Possibly not. But then obviously you can use it on multiple Macs. And then obviously any updates that will come through automatically through the Mac App Store. So I haven't bought it. So no, you cannot buy Audio Hijack through the Mac App Store. So if you want to buy it as a bundle direct from Rogue Amoeba, who have been around for a little while, then go to the website and there is a bundle for both of those. But $27.99 in the UK, probably. I think it might be $30 actually.
In the Mac App Store, it's $28.99.
Okay, so
in the
Fission,
States.
if you Fission, then it's $35 actually on the website. So it's actually more. So it's cheaper to actually buy it through the Mac App Store. So buy it through the Mac App Store. You'll get more. Users available because obviously you can share apps through the Mac App Store. But if you want to buy a combination of the applications, then go onto the website to buy the bundle.
Yeah, they've got one with Loopback as well.
Yeah, they've got one which has got Fission, Audio Hijack, Loopback, and Farrago, and that's $210. It's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, and they have another actually, I'm not going to talk about the other program because I may choose that for my app pick next week.
Well, I have got another application which they've got. In fact, I've got a couple more applications that I've got, which I've got, which we could possibly talk about next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
There's no feedback this week, so
people, we like feedback. Just go to somewhere. We don't know where.
We'll tell you later.
And add more feedback to iTunes or not iTunes. The podcast app, and even if you've done one in the past, do another one. Say, I'm still listening, and they're still crap. That's fine.
Yeah, we actually seem to kind of enjoy it when you insult us.
No.
Yeah, it's weird. We have issues, Gaz. Serious issues.
You've got major issues.
Well,
I've got issues. I've got issues because I keep coming back to talk to.
Exactly. Glutton for punishment. Right there. Glutton for punishment.
It's not punishment. I enjoy it.
So there's, like we said, no feedback. If you would like to support the things that I do, patreon.com/MacParrot, coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, paypal.me/MacParrot. Gaz.
Yep.
If people wanted to get a hold of you and say, isn't there medication that you could take instead of talking to Guy every week? Or is it because of Guy you have to take medication?
Correct.
How would they tell you that?
Ever so easy. They would send an email to Gaz, G-A-Z,
Gaz!
at mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z, M-A-Z.
Gaz!
Or you can contact both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-U-Y, A-N-D, G-A-Z, wait for it, Z.
Cars.
Very good. You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's FEEDBACK at Mac.
At mymac.com.
Now.
Yeah.
Now.
Only a rat would shoot a guy in the back.
A guy in the back? Who's going to shoot a guy in the back? I can't believe that.
Guy's trying to slip me a Mickey.
Pretty much anyone who's listened to the show for a long time.
Guy says.
What did he say? Yeah.
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
No, they do not.
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
Well,
what?
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
What? Can't believe it.
Do we know it was a guy?
We do.
No.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah.
Guy's the one.
He's definitely.
You remember Guy?
One of a kind. And everyone is so grateful.
Guy.
Guy?
Guy. Yeah.
His name was Guy. No fooling.
If you want.
An email from Guy.
How would they do it?
Oh, just open up mail. Type in Guy at mymac.com and and then you don't even have to put anything in the header. You don't have to send anything else in it. Just send me a blank email because I will understand. I am also, as much as I give it crap, I'm also on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot and Vert Shark on the Twitters. That's all we can play. There's also the vertshark.com website that's recently gotten VertShark. It's gotten see it's going to be an accumulative effect, Gaz. It'll be like you played that snippet so many times that it hit that 30-second mark, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
It is so many, so very many, and it happens every time I say VertShark. See, right there, vertshark.com. So, I don't even know where I was. Oh, Skype telephone number. Our Skype telephone number that Marcus and Greg from North Carolina know, but nobody else seems to, is 1 or +1 outside of the United States. Area code 703-436-9501. That number again, Gaz, is 1 or +1 outside of the United States. Area code 703-436-9501. Or take that 1 and that +1, put it in the crosshairs, shoot it. Just get rid of it right there. Just like that. Don't shoot it because you'll blow holes in your wall, and that's not a good thing. But that
really isn't.
No, it's not. And then you'll have to do like what you're doing in your house right now.
Yeah.
Fill holes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go.
I'm going to blow it up.
See? Exactly. That's not a good thing. But if you go onto the Skype application, I know we were going to get there eventually. 703-436-9501. That's all you've got to do. And I would like to say to everyone out there, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. We say this every week, and we mean it every week. For taking the time.
We mean it more and more each week.
And it becomes quite apparent that it must be becoming a greater and greater chore as time goes on.
Absolutely.
That you have downloaded and listened, damn it, listened to the MyMac.com podcast with Gaz and Guy. We really do appreciate it. And Gaz, I think that we are good enough.
Yep.
And that, wow, we are so very smart enough.
Yep.
And that doggone it, woof. People like us.
You don't like it when I interrupt you on that bit, do you?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Mahagaga. Chokua. Fa aminini. Podcast is a. Shantasika. Mobani fitonda antenna. Monopolistico. Nai Google. Di. Maplasia. Servici. Fika Horana. Google C. Fanny Decan. I have to say that carefully. Teni Ho Aniasa.
I wasn't sure if I was going to use this language or not until I saw those last two. It's like, have to go. Have to use it.
End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.